This is Omar here, another word to the wise. I thought we'd start today by explaining primarily why we don't get along with some part of the world and some part of the world does not get along with us. It goes back to our life philosophy. Long time ago, and most of the world still acts like this, we were built upon a system that you would divide men into four groups rather. Group 1 is the strong, smart. Definitions. Strong, your ability to have physical strength. Constitution. Bravery. Will, strong will to not want to give up, to keep on doing no matter what. To be able to reproduce, to attract a female, to be willing to fight, to have aggressiveness. To be willing to pull that step forward. That's his definition of strong. Definition of smart. Ability to analyze, analytical thought, to process, but also the ability to choose your words, not knowing when to speak but how to speak. To be persuasive enough to draw others in to support your ideas and conclusion. Example, prehistoric times. Boss kind of guy goes out and goes, snow on mountain. Gonna get colder than hell real quick. Time to take people down to the valley. Go into cave, say, hey, everybody, it's time to pack up. Somebody over here says, no, let's don't. Let's stay here. So no matter how smart you are to know what needs to happen, somebody's going to challenge you, and you must have physical strength. Now, if his brute strength is override yours, now it's just brute strength. But leadership and persuasiveness, now with that, other strongs will stand to your side and you go, you know, old Joe, he's usually pretty right. He keeps us going this way. You, on the other hand, are an idiot and frequently get us in trouble. We're going to stand with old Joe and work with him. Now, if you follow old Joe and go down to the valley, you survive the winter and everybody's happy and go, I'm glad we listened to old Joe. And if you listen to Frank, then you froze yourself to death up there and nobody knows the story, so that pretty well takes care of the stupid end, doesn't it? So this is our persuasive side. This is the smart. So the top of the pole is the strong smart. Now the second pole is the strong stupid. Now, he's not really stupid. That's another definition. We must have defined definitions. Everybody has an opinion of what this word means. Through all these lectures, stupid means one thing. Any action, thought, or opinion based upon laziness or irresponsibility. So the further you get away of conscientiousness is duty, and those things are smart, the more lazy and irresponsible you become, so you're sliding down the stupid scale, right? Gotcha. Alright, now that defines most of our terms. So the second man on the pole is what we say the strong stupid. He's still able to attract females, he's still able to fight, he's still able to hunt. He may not be the sharpest pencil in the box, but he's still got an eraser. So he decides who he's going to pick and choose, and he'll make the leader. And you can stay strong, and you can have persuasive support. Now in this strong is where we find something that's very unique in mankind, and it's the most important thing that's driven man throughout history. And this is called the function of sacrifice. And we will return to this in a little bit. But it is one of the most important things that drives our society. So we must cover it. The third category of the individuals is what we call the professor. He is the weak smart. He don't know much about hunting. He stumbles, he trips, he makes a lot of noise, and he's not attractive, and he's not very suave. But this guy makes a better bow or spear or does something better than this group than anybody else. And our unit is better off with him doing this stuff than him out there doing some other stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we protect him, give him some of our stuff, so he keeps making his stuff. So we have good stuff to go out and do our stuff. Got it? Good. Alright, now, that's the third group. Now the fourth group, unfortunately, is who we call the consumers, the users, and they are what we call the weak stupid. They have frequently been used as fodder in society, and they probably will continue to be used as fodder in the society. I'm sorry, this is the truth. Not only that, these groups are not equal in population. There seems to be a broader base and a smaller peak. But this is the truth as well. Now on the female side, you must understand, to make everything go tick-tock, they have their hierarchy too. So on the females, the first one is called the pretty smart. Smart is exactly the same for the female as it is for the male. In fact, it is because of them being equal that brought about the women's unit liberations in the 60s. Just as a side note, because you can compare smart to smart, but you cannot compare pretty to strong. And this is where the transitions start taking place. But we'll get back to that in a little bit also. So, the female pretty is her ability to have strength, just like a strong. Many of the attributes of strong is in the pretty. Also her ability to reproduce, her ability to attract a male to make the sacrifice. This is where the sacrifice comes into play again. Male sacrifice is their willingness to give up their life, through either it be through the short term of war and conflict or protection, or the old saying, oh, Grandpa's out there working himself to death. Everybody in the family knows it. He's out in the field, out in the mine, out somewhere, but he's working himself to death, and he really is. And everybody knows that was a sacrifice. That was the male sacrifice throughout history, and most of the world still operates in this system. If you don't have the hunter, you don't have the strength, you don't have the protection to do that's physical labor, you can be in trouble very quickly. Now, the sacrifice under the pretty, this was even more tricky. Their sacrifice is to do whatever it takes to make the male keep doing his sacrifice. That's her sacrifice. And she will choose her mate accordingly to how well she can make him do these, to make him to give the sacrifice, and keep going out and doing the hunt, keep working yourself to providing for the family unit. Because if he stops, you're going to be in bad trouble. This is the old system and always has been. So in the categories, just like the female, you can see to the male, you would have the pretty smart. Then the second category is the pretty stupid, just like in the male, except the attributes of attraction. The third category is the ugly smart. Professor, she knows more about this subject. We need her, even though she's separated away for this interconnection of mating. The system will support this person because we need those skills. This is what we define as that third position. The fourth is the ugly stupid. They are the fodder, the consumers, the users, however you want to use it, of society. They always have been and probably always will. Now, this is a system that most of the world still operates on to this day. If you don't understand that, if you've been around the world, you soon will. In technology, what has happened in all our cultures now, the strong smart, the pretty smart, the ugly smart, and the weak smart are all competing for the top dollar, because smart is more powerful in this jungle and society than strong and pretty. You don't need the sacrifice